Hello everyone and welcome to another Dead by Daylight concept video. Today we're going to be going over my concept for the Ignorance is Bliss chapter, featuring a new killer, the Witness, a new survivor, João Rubero, and a new map, the Agony Farm. Let's get straight into it, I think, and sorry this one took a bit longer to get out than the others. Let's first start with the killer, the Witness, aka Elliot Stanley, and their lore. Elliot Stanley was born into a family which was part of the Black Veil, and through most of his childhood, he unknowingly worshipped the entity, though as he grew older, he distanced himself from his family. He later saw employment as a security guard and camera monitor at a large-scale prison, where, despite witnessing many fits of abuse of guards against prisoners, he refused to speak up, believing that tragedy couldn't be prevented with a very nihilist outlook on life. Eventually, when a riot broke out in the prison, the prisoners targeted him specifically and forced many grievous injuries upon him, which later led to him being hospitalized, where he was then kidnapped by his brother and brought to the Agony Farm. The Agony Farm is a place created by the Black Veil to try and create as much emotional resonance as possible to summon the entity into an overlap. They do this by using an old abattoir, and instead of filling it with cows or pigs, filling it with people. And Elliot was forced to watch onto it all, later being taken by the entity as a result of the coagulation of all the horrible things he had witnessed. The Witness's power is called Fault of Witness, and here's how it works. Elliot is able to place down eyes around the map, which he can target like Singularity's cameras. While targeting a survivor, they will slowly build up guilt, a new status effect, which increases certain altruistic actions. Once a survivor gains full guilt stacks, the eyes are able to reel them in, think like Deathslinger, and bring them towards the eye, where the Witness is then alerted by Killer Instinct and able to teleport to the eye and injure the survivor. Guilty survivors are unable to free themselves from being dragged by the eye and must have another survivor help them out. However, doing this will cause the survivor aiding them to become injured or mangled, depending on whether they're injured or not. Eyes can also be placed into an auto-aim mode as well, where they will, at a reduced speed, still gain guilt on survivors and reel them in, alerting the killer again with Killer Instinct. Now, while I don't have any add-on ideas for this power, I do have a Mori this time around. The Mori goes as follows. The Witness will pick the survivor up from the ground and impale them on two of the entity's hooks which descend from the sky. Their skin is suddenly stripped away from them and their eyes will explode in a shower of blood, leaving the Witness as their body falls to the floor. This is meant to represent Elliot's sort of passivity to all the death and murder that he's seen. And again, he's only seeing, not partaking, which is why the entity punishes him in the way that he is in the game. The Witness also comes with 3 unique perks, the first of which being Residual Dread. When a survivor is hooked on a hook, any generators within a 10, 20, and 32 meter radius of the hook will begin to regress if not being worked on until the survivor is unhooked. The second perk is Imminent Tragedy. When a survivor is downed, all hooks within a 5, 10, and 15 meter radius of the downed survivor become blocked by the entity, preventing any survivors from sabotaging the hooks. The Witness's final perk is Survivor's Guilt. If a survivor is unhooked by an injured survivor, the unhooked survivor will gain Oblivious for 10, 15, or 30 seconds. Now onto the survivor and their lore. João Rubero was originally a Portuguese bullfighter who lavished in the luxury of being a celebrity. Meanwhile, their family tore each other apart due to own issues, and their hometown became a wasteland of sorts with little to no support from the government in a rural area. This all changed, however, after João was hit by a bull and sent to one of his hometowns less than ideal hospitals, which changed his outlook on life and turned him from the arrogant and ignorant person into a kind and caring individual who brought his town into a good era where people were safe in the streets. Though at one particular gala to raise awareness for the town's past and its issues, he was taken by a mysterious fog into the night. João's first perk is Tempt the Beast. By activating this perk, you reveal your aura to the killer and the killer's aura to yourself. You also gain a speed boost for a good few seconds, but become exposed. This perk can only be used outside of chase and will cause the survivor to suffer from exhaustion after. João's second perk is Up and At 'em. When going from healthy to injured, if you are suffering from exhausted, your exhausted will be removed and the perk will go on cooldown for 180, 120 and 80 seconds. João's final perk is Ring Champ. By running and spinning in a 360-degree circle and continuously running, your next vol is guaranteed to be a fast vol if applicable before it goes on to a exhaustion cooldown. Now, just as a last little touch before I end the video and get on to the conclusion, here's a few random voice lines that I managed to get for The Witness. I hope you enjoy.
Enough! I saw it all. It's all your fault. More. The horror. Useless. The coldest goodbye.
I just want to give everyone a big, massive thank you for making it this far into the video, and I hope you enjoyed the concept. I want to apologise that this one's out a lot later than I thought it was going to be. It just took me a while to get back into the stride of making these, but this should be at least a one-off, and I will be back to a regular-ish upload schedule of videos during the weekdays. Yeah. I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll be ready to see you in the next one, and let me know if you catch the Spies Are Forever reference in there. Until then, ta-ra!